What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Get Back. My name is Daniel, and this is going to be our official WWE Royal Rumble 2026 prediction breakdown video. The Rumble is coming up in literally a couple hours at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's in Saudi Arabia. Not great, I'll be honest. But it's in Saudi Arabia. It's the Rumble. It's Mania season. It's a great time to start making content on WWE. I've been a WWE fan for a while, so I love the Royal Rumble. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. It holds a special place in my heart. Again, it's Mania season. Starting to gear up towards that. And it's kind of the official kickoff towards that. So without further ado, let's get into this match card and prediction. So we're going to go into what I think the match order is going to be. I think we're going to start with the Women's Royal Rumble. I think I'm probably going to get that out of the way. Look, a lot of star power in this match. I think, you have Rhea Ripley, you have Io Sky, you have Liv Morgan, you have Raquel Rodriguez, you have Roxanne Perez, and, you have Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kairi Sane. The list goes on and on. Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, maybe. You have, she's the champion, not Stephanie Vaquer, but I hope she's there because she's awesome. But you have so many great women in this match. I think it could go a lot of different directions in terms of who the winner is going to be. I think you can give a shout to Charlotte Flair again. I wouldn't be surprised. I think you can give a shout to Rhea. I think if Bianca Belair comes back, I think that would be a great prediction. If they want to get crazy, maybe they go a Roxanne Perez or Raquel Rodriguez. I guess I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I think the winner is going to be Liv Morgan. I think just because of everything that's been going on, giving her that kind of push that she needs. I think you can have her have a cool spot where she eliminates Roxanne and Raquel to kind of retain. I think her and Stephanie kind of makes sense for Mania as well. I think getting Liv back in the title picture, getting her back into that kind of where she was before she got injured or had to leave would make sense. So to me, I think the pick is Liv Morgan. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think I would maybe see her and Rhea as the final two. And Liv would get revenge on Rhea, kind of, to some degree. So if I had to pick one, I think I would pick Liv to win the Rumble again. I think it just makes sense. I think you could also probably give, if Tiffany Stratton is coming back, that's not a bad pick either. Her and Jade run it back at Mania. Why not? Gets Tiffany back in the title picture. I think again you can make the argument for Bianca Belair doing the same thing with Jade. Makes a lot of sense. I think she's kind of been confirmed to come back anyway, so I think Bianca makes sense. Although, but I think just Liv is just kind of been the name going around recently. I think it makes a lot of sense to get her back in the title picture for Mania. You could always do Bianca, or if Tiffany's healthy and ready to come back, you give her another chance as well. But I think you always do Bianca and Jade at Mania anytime. I think giving Liv something to do till Mania makes a lot of sense, to giving her this kind of storyline to build on. And I think you would have been forcing a storyline onto her with her and Stephanie. I think this kind of just eases it in there a little bit more and helps her out. And then I think we're going to probably get Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Championship. Listen, love Drew, love Sami. I would be stunned if Sami Zayn wins. I really, genuinely would be, and I think I like Sami Zayn. I do. I would be surprised if Drew loses first title defense here. I know it's in Riyadh. I know it's in Sami's hometown. I know they love giving the Saudis what they want. They love it. Giving Sami a WWE Championship, giving him a title change at Saudi Arabia, it's what happens sometimes when they're in Saudi Arabia. Somebody always kind of gives up their title. I would feel very bad for Drew. And I think it would be an absolute shame to take the title off of Drew right now after he just won it, to give Sami a pop. I think that's not the move here. I think because it is the WWE Championship, you have to build the story out. I wouldn't mind Sami going all the way to Mania with this. I really wouldn't. I think that makes a lot of sense. But for me, personally, to just give the title to Sami because we're in Saudi Arabia that doesn't sit right with me, and that I think Drew would be absolutely. I think Drew should just ask to leave the company because that would be absolutely ridiculous. Um, so I'm going to pick Drew to win. I'm hoping Drew wins for the sake of everything going on. I'm hoping that Drew wins, and later if we could build the story out, we can give it the proper pacing that it needs, and maybe we could talk about Sami Zayn maybe winning the World Championship at WrestleMania, giving him his Mania moment. Sure. And I get it. I get it. I get it. It's in Riyadh. It's in Saudi Arabia. It'll give his first world title in, a very special place to his heart. But you can't take the title off of Drew yet. You just can't. I would be surprised, and I honestly wouldn't like it from a storytelling reason, a fan reason, a wrestling reason. I just think, to me, you need to build the story out a little bit more for it to make a lot of sense. So that's just my 2 cents on that matter. But I'm picking Drew to win, and I hope that is going to be the case. Then we have AJ Styles versus Gunther in what may be AJ Styles' last match. I truly think this is up in the air. I don't know. I don't know if this is AJ's retirement match. I think all signs maybe point towards that. I think AJ's he maybe doesn't want what Cena got. They want to give him that, but maybe that's not what he wants. He kind of had his, big match with Shinsuke Nakamura 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, on Saturday Night's main event. So he had that kind of time to kind of give his final opponent, one final great match in Shinsuke. I think, it would be a shame if it is kind of just how this ends with a match at Royal Rumble with no real build-up beforehand, just kind of like AJ defending Gunther's honor, or John Cena's honor. I think there needs to be more, which is kind of why I'm leaning that it's not going to be his final match. I think he kind of does make it to Mania, and then we'll go from there. But in the same breath, I think if you're going to dub Gunther as, the career ender, the modern day legend killer, I think you gotta pull the trigger. I think if this is what AJ wants, he wants to retire. Obviously, you can't stop him from doing that. And this will be his final match. I think it'll be a big push to Gunther to give him another big thing on his resume, just continue to make him to this megastar that he is. But yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for it to be Gunther. I've been a big AJ Styles guy my whole life. He's been one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. I've been following him since TNA, New Japan, everywhere he's gone. And obviously this would be a full circle moment. He debuted at the Rumble. He done his career at the Rumble. So, everything's a circle. Makes sense. So, I could see it going both ways. I really can. And I think we just don't know what AJ really wants. If he wants more, or if he's definitively saying he's done. This is it. My last opponent is going to a Royal Rumble, and that's it. And if that's the case, he can't really say it's a bad decision, whether Gunther wins or not. But for sentimental reasons, and maybe for something later on down the line, maybe we set this up towards Mania, I'm picking AJ Styles. I hope that's the case, because I don't want to see AJ go. He's one of my favorites, but if it's what he wants, so what he wants. I would not be surprised if Gunther wins and he continues his career ender dubbing. And that's also pretty fine and pretty fun. But moving on to the main event, and probably was going to end the show, the Men's Royal Rumble. This is the big one, the big daddy of them all. This is kind of harder to predict, right? I think there's a lot of different directions you can go. I don't think it's going to be Cody. I don't think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. I think that's kind of been... Somebody's going to get... Whether it's Jacob Fatu or whatever it is, or... maybe it could be Seth Rollins coming back. That could be pretty fun. I don't think it's going to be Cody. I think they'll have something different for Cody coming up. And I think that kind of narrows it down to maybe a few people. I think Braun Breaker is a pick. I think Roman Reigns is a pick, who he declared. Brock Lesnar could be a pick, which I don't want that. LA Knight's a dark horse. I wouldn't mind LA Knight personally. I think it could be about that time for him. But we just saw, if you've been watching Unreal, him and H really don't see eye to eye, and LA Knight really got on Hunter's bad side at one point. So we'll see, we'll see. But I think if you're going with the safe pick, I think it's Roman Reigns. As much as it bothers people, as much as it kind of would rub people the wrong way, I think you're giving the Saudi crowd what they want. You're giving them their megastar. It's Roman Reigns. He's winning the Rumble. You basically shoehorn him into WrestleMania, whether that's for fighting Drew or fighting Punk. Maybe for fighting Punk, that would make sense. I wouldn't mind it. I think if Seth Rollins is healthy, that's not another bad option. Punk Rollins Mania, it writes itself. You go. Braun Breaker would be interesting. I think if it is Breaker, it'll be. I think Breaker is good. I think Breaker is ready. I think Breaker can handle it. But I think it's kind of a little bit too safe, you know? Punk Breaker Mania, I think we've kind of been there, done that. And Punk, I think it would make sense for Punk to fight somebody else, right? I think whether it is Roman Reigns, whether it is, Seth Rollins, I think there's something else there that could be had. So, yeah. This is a tough pick. I really wouldn't mind LA Knight. I think it'd be very fun. Because I think what you saw last year at the Rumble when Jay won is that there's that unexpectancy. There's kind of that idea of like we truly don't know what it's going to be. We don't know who's going to win. I think you kind of keep that alive with LA Knight, and that you kind of give him that WrestleMania main event, and you give him that chance for a world title, and eventually, we all love LA Knight, yeah, right? So I think it wouldn't be a bad option either way. But I do think I am kind of leaning towards Roman Reigns. I'm kind of talking myself into that pick, just because it's Saudi Arabia. He's the megastar. He's the guy. He is the company whenever he decides to come back. I think it's him and Punk makes so much sense. Or if it is Cody, if Cody wins, he beats Drew at some point. I won't be surprised if it's Roman and Cody. So, I think I'm going to talk myself into Roman Reigns. I think it is going to be Roman Reigns to win the Rumble. And just have him come back and go right to Mania. And have him kind of convert back into like that kind of full-timer for a little bit. And have him fight, I guess, Punk. Makes sense. But that is going to do it for me. This has been the Royal Rumble prediction. WWE Royal Rumble prediction breakdown video. So we'll kind of come back. We'll see how we did, see what was right, what was wrong, and we'll go from there. Again, I love the Rumble. Should be a lot of fun. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think is going to happen overall in the card, what you think is going to happen in the future. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, follow social medias at the Get Back Sports. Check out other stuff, other great content coming out. So yeah, that's been me. I've been Daniel. This has been the Get Back, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.